I've never been anywhere where there's been a major earthquake, but was really graphically described to me by some of the beneficiaries. One woman talked about the house shaking and sliding and her not being able to stand up. She said I was rocking and moving from side to side. Obviously the building collapsing around her and people screaming. And she had looked outside momentarily and she could see the road buckling and bending like the waves on the sea. One day we were working up in a place called Luon. One lady in particular was very anxious that I go with her to see her house. It was only a few hundred yards from the square. She was a 73-year-old lady who, since the earthquake, had been sheltering in her local church. And the house had been completely destroyed. And her daughter, who was the breadwinner, had come home to work in Bohol from the main office in Manila. Only arrived home Friday night, ready to go to work Monday morning, and the earthquake struck. You know, despite the woman's tears showing me where her grandson and her daughter had died, she'd carefully cleared a plot of land next to the house and wondered if a ShelterBox tent would fit there, because she didn't want to leave her home and where her family had died. I think with the help of the soldiers, they'd chipped a few blocks out of the way. She would be able to put her ShelterBox tent next to the devastation of her house. Whatever your living standards and possessions are, it's still yours. They had lost everything, and suddenly they were plunged into a world where they live cheek by jowl. So all the common standards of privacy were gone. And suddenly they had a space of their own. And that seemed to be very, very important to them. And I can understand that. People said to me, "You've come all this way to show us how to put this up and to help us put it up and to give it to us." You know, they couldn't believe. And were forever saying thank you, gripping your hand or giving you a hug. I wasn't prepared for that. I've been a regular giver to ShelterBox for a number of years now. I'd seen the work in the warehouse. I've done the training as an SRT. What this deployment did for me was I was able to see the effect that it had on the recipients. It was the strength of feeling and that sense of warmth and gratitude from them that we'd gone all that way to give them the tent. And that just, for me, I thought, golly, those few quid that I give, that really, really does help. I could see the end product, and that's proved to be very important for me.